Converse provides value in a number of ways. First of all, the quality of the degree and the educational experience you will have, but also in terms of cost. We are flexible in the number of hours that you can take per semester, which can spread a program out, or if you feel comfortable, you can take more hours and accelerate your progress towards your degree.
At Converse, we have program options that can fit any student. We have part-time programs, hybrid programs, full-time. We also have a campus in Greenville at the University Center Greenville and in Spartanburg.
We have folks coming in right from undergraduate programs. We have mid-career changers. We have folks who are coming in after they have completed a career and are looking at adding a skill or a degree. You come here, you make connections with faculty, with students, and you really feel a part of the community, whether it's Spartanburg or it's Greenville. And that is something I have really never felt anywhere else.
Hello everyone, my name is Rick Jenkins and I'm the publisher at GSA Business Report, the media company that serves high-level business executives in the upstate of South Carolina. Welcome to SC Biz TV and another episode in our ongoing video series, Coffee With. This is actually the 15th episode in the series, and today I'm having coffee with Krista Newkirk, the president at Converse College in Spartanburg. Krista, welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
It is good to have you. Now, you, of course, came down from Spartanburg, and our studio is located in Greenville. How was the trip? 85 always tough times?
You know, easy today.
Was it?
Can't complain at all.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Welcome to our studio, and I appreciate you taking a few minutes to have this conversation. Before we get into Converse College, I want to talk to you about you a little bit.
Sure.
Now, you are the 10th president at the school, and you have been the president for almost 5 years. Is that right?
That's right.
Tell us where you're from and how you wound up here in Sparkle City.
Well, you know, originally I grew up in the Midwest, so I had the full tour of the Midwest, Iowa, Missouri, Nebraska, and I spent my formative years on a cattle ranch there, which I think developed a great work ethic, if nothing else. And so that actually caused me to go to school and to continue on to college, and then I went to law school at William & Mary and came east, and I've been east ever since.
Where's William & Mary?
And in Williamsburg, Virginia.
Okay, all right. Cattle ranch. I'm sorry, I got to go back there.
Yeah.
Was this a family ranch?
It was. It was my father's dream. He had been in the nursing home business and sold that with my grandfather, and we started 2 cattle ranches close to each other.
I love that. I'm from Kentucky, and my grandfather family was raised on a dairy farm.
Yeah.
And so cattle, not the same type of cattle, but I'm used to the farm life, and you are too.
That's right. My grandfather started with dairy cattle and decided beef cattle was a whole lot easier, so we moved to that.
Oh my gosh, tell me about it. You don't have to get up at 5 a.m.
That's
every
right.
morning, right?
That's right.
You know, I think, and we're just kind of going down a rabbit trail here, but I like it. I owe the farm, my farm life when I was young, to a work ethic, right?
Yeah.
It really taught me a work ethic because that is tough job growing up and doing farm work. Do you find the same?
Absolutely. And it develops a sense of confidence and independence that I think really serves you well throughout your life. When you can handle a horse and round up cattle at 6 years old and, you know, buck some hay bales, you feel like you can, there's not much you can't accomplish if you just put your head and heart to it.
Right. I love that. I look forward to continuing that conversation outside of here. So thank you for sharing that. Let's talk about Converse College.
Yeah.
Founded in 1889, I believe,
right.
as an all-women's college.
Yes.
And you stayed that way until 1964-ish?
Right, when we added graduate programs. That's right.
That's right. And so at that point, you became a co-ed, allowing men to take grad courses.
That's correct.
And then last year you took another step.
We did. It was a big step. So last year, after studying this for about a year, we decided it was time to open Converse at the undergraduate level to be coeducational as well, while still keeping Converse College for women as a really important part of that.
Now, it's still women only on campus in terms of living there, residential. Is that true, or am I? I'm not.
No,
that's not true.
It's not.
So you have a men's dorm now.
We do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you took the full plunge.
We did.
And weren't you gonna start it maybe in 21 and decided?
We were.
How did that happen?
Yes, so we made the announcement February 9th, 2020, that we were going to make this shift and we were going to take a year to get prepared and to all of that and study it and work with the campus. And then the pandemic hit 6 weeks later, and
Right.
we were shifted to an online enrollment. And we really looked at what the need was in the area, and we decided that with a lot of people struggling with, do I travel far away to go to college? And really the concerns with that, we decided it was time for us to go ahead and open the doors early, just in case anybody who was nearby needed that education but needed to be at home to support their family at that time.
Would you call that decision successful so far?
You know, it has been. We enrolled about 8 males at that time, but they've been great, and they've really been a pilot group for us. They've educated us as we go through and make these decisions, and yeah, I think it's been really good for us.
The boy-girl ratio is pretty good there.
Yeah,
if you're them,
fantastic for
right?
the males right now. That's right.
Right.
No, we did have, we were co-ed for an international school, so we have had males on campus before this.
Okay.
But this was really opening it up for the, students in the surrounding area.
Got it. We said you were founded in 1889. When I read that on your website, that name or that date stuck in my mind for some reason, and I
Yeah.
wasn't sure exactly why, and so I just Googled it, and I found out the reason that it was stuck in my mind was because that's also the year that Clemson was founded.
That's right.
Right? So two pretty important institutions founded in 1889, but I bet you didn't know what I'm getting ready to tell you. I also looked up to see what else happened in 1889, just for a little bit of fun, okay? The Eiffel Tower opened in Paris in 1889.
Wow.
North and South Dakota became states in 1889. Van Gogh painted A Starry Night. We all know that great painting. The first issue of the Wall Street Journal was published. The jukebox was invented. And the first college football game in South Carolina was played in 1889 between Furman and another Spartanburg school, Wofford.
That's really interesting.
How about that?
I would just like to note that we remain undefeated in football.
Really, what's the record?
Yeah, undefeated.
Right, undefeated. I like it. It's probably going to be a while before you have a football team, though, I would
Yeah,
guess.
we're not saying the F word on campus. No.
That's a good one. All right, let's move on. Tell me about, first, let's hear about enrollment. Tell me how many folks are living on campus, total enrollment, and that kind of thing.
Well, it's different in a pandemic right now. So I can tell you that as of this morning, our enrollment is 1,664 students.
Okay.
So that includes graduate and undergraduate students. And normally we would have around 700 students living on campus. This year we're at a little bit less than 500 students living on campus.
Right.
So that has allowed us to really assign single rooms to almost every student on campus. There are very few with roommates at this point. Some in
Like
the
that if I
apartment
was a
style.
student.
Yeah, so they have the apartment style and the suite style, but they have their own bedroom. And I have to say that has really contributed to a successful semester for us in terms of spread of infection on campus.
Right.
So we've had a 2% rate of infection spread on campus. No signs of infection in the classroom or in the dining hall. It's when people
you.
hang out together, take their masks off and such, that we see those incidents occur. But we finished the fall semester with only 27 student cases on campus, which is remarkable.
It does sound remarkable.
Yeah.
2021, as you move forward, what do you think, how many students you think will be back in those residence halls? You think you'll get back to that 700 number, or is that going to take a little while longer?
Boy, I think we've got a shot at it. Right now, our trajectory for fall enrollment is looking really good. And so I think we could be close to that.
Good.
We'll see who comes back and where we stand with the pandemic and how comfortable people are at that time.
Right.
Yeah,
Switching gears a little bit, you started a doctoral program not too long ago, right?
we did.
2018?
That's right.
Is that when it was? Tell me about that and how that decision was made.
So, Converse always has its goal developing transformative leaders. And as you mentioned, we've had graduate programs since 1964. This was really the natural next step for us. As we talked with local business leaders, they really talked about the need for people to take that next step and to develop their succession planning. And this is a program that's open to all individuals who are ready to take that next step. And so we see entrepreneurs, architects, teachers, administrators, whoever that is, come to this program, and it's really preparing them for, that leadership role.
Right. Good for you. How many folks have been in the doctoral program so far?
We have 86 enrolled right now.
That seems really good.
It is incredibly good. And our first year, we had double what we anticipated.
Right.
So clearly there's a demand for this, and we're just excited to be a part of that.
Right. Good for you.
Yeah.
Our readership is made up of, according to our last readership audit, 79% are either business owners, C-level execs, presidents, or vice presidents.
Yeah.
If you count directors, that goes up close to 90%. I bring that up because these are the types of folks that sometimes would like to continue their education in one way or another. And they're watching today. And so I'd like you to share with that group of folks, what do you have? What type of programs do you have?
Yeah.
Master's type programs if these people want to continue their education.
Absolutely. So, Converse has long been the leader in graduate programs in education and music and fine arts, especially in our creative writing program. But now we've really branched into the business side of things. So with our doctorate in professional leadership that we talked about, we also added a master's in professional leadership as we saw businesses want to grow their employees to take that next step. And then we had a master's in healthcare management, which is a really wonderful program developed in coordination with local hospital system to try to help them build their next administrators. And so we're excited about that program as well, and just the opportunity it provides. That one's completely online at this point.
Which one?
The master's in healthcare management.
Okay, and so professional leadership is not completely
It's
online.
not
You can do it
completely,
either way.
but it's built for working professionals. So they
Right.
have one class together a week
Okay.
in the evening, and then there's an online class. But they can complete that program in 21 months, which is really a good timeline for them.
Krista, what about executives that are already in the workforce right now, and they're wanting to go back to school and maybe complete an undergrad degree?
Sure.
How are you helping those folks?
We've added 2 degree completion programs, one in business administration and one in child and family studies. So we know that there are about 50,000 people in the Greenville area who are partway to a 4-year degree. The difference to them when they actually complete that degree is really significant. So on average, it's a salary increase of $17,000 per year for someone to go from a partway to a 4-year degree to actually getting that diploma in hand. And we want to see them close that gap. So this is a program really built for them. It'll be online for them, and they can complete that degree depending on how many hours they have left. We want to make sure they can complete that degree as easily as possible. And the thing that makes it different is that there are a lot of online programs out there. We are here. We have the opportunity for them to come to the University Center at Greenville, and we really try to build these with a cohort. So people come in with a group of students. They have that support group around them. They know their faculty know them, and they really have everything that they need. We work with them to make sure that they're successful in that program.
You mentioned the University Center, and I want to get to that in just a second. But first, you said 50,000 people in the upstate of South Carolina.
In the Greenville area
In the
alone.
Greenville area only, 50,000 people have not finished their degree.
That's right.
That are over a certain age, or how is
I
that
think these are
calculated?
all ages, yeah. So
All
it's just
ages.
someone who's completed some part of their 4-year degree, but then life took them on a detour.
I got you.
And so we want to help them come back on track.
And so that does not include someone who may currently be a sophomore somewhere.
No, these are people who have now stopped out of school.
50,000 people started and stopped.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I would not have thought it would have been that many, but maybe that is logical. That's interesting. And how do you reach out to those people? How do you try to get the Converse message to those 50,000 people?
We're really working on the marketing for that. I think it's kind of a noisy market to break through. But we think that with our presence being here and understanding that this isn't just another online program, which honestly a lot of people start but don't finish, we're really here for them to help them complete that degree and to get that satisfaction of doing that.
Right. Let's go back, Krista, to the University Center. The University Center satellite campus,
Yes.
right? It's located, I think, on Pleasantburg.
That's right.
Tell me what you got there. What happens? What can people take if they go to the University Center?
Yeah, so at that site, which is at the old McAllister Square, UCG has been there for about 30 years now. We're one of several institutions there that offer courses. We have the Doctorate of Education in Professional Leadership, our Masters in Professional Leadership, the degree completion programs I mentioned, and then a Master of Arts in Teaching, and our Master of Marriage and Family Therapy is there. One of the few Master of Marriage and Family Therapy programs in the whole region, and we worked with Emerge, so there's actually a clinical site right there as well, so students can take their class and do their clinicals all at the same location.
I have not heard of that degree, but it makes sense that you need that.
That's right, yeah.
Krista, tell me how many people in Greenville are taking classes right now at the University Center?
Yeah, so it's about 75 to 85 people right now.
Right.
We're hoping to grow that as well.
Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
that sounds great. More than I would have thought. Let's switch gears a little bit here. Krista, you are a member of the One Spartanburg Talent Action Team. Now, as I understand it, that's where it's a workforce development group of sorts, right?
Right.
You get large employers together, you come together and figure out what they need. Is that how
Yes.
that works?
Yes, so this was really started by the Spartanburg Chamber, now One Spartanburg, and it was a way for higher education to build that pipeline for workforce development for the larger companies in the area. And we sat down and listened to what they were needing for degrees in the future. And then, just as importantly, what were the professional and technical skills that they were seeing sometimes missing in their current employees and workforce
Right.
that they really wanted to develop. And then ultimately, what we put together was a strategic planning timeline for them, so that when they're doing their strategic plan, they can be in sync with the colleges and the universities, letting us know what they need, thinking about job shadowing, so students have a chance earlier in their education to get a sense of what a career is like, and then building internships, and then ultimately building that pipeline so that the talent that we grow here stays here.
Right. You know, workforce development seems to be an issue for everyone all the time. It's a
Yeah.
constant battle, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Converse, changing a lot, changing fast, it seems. What do you see in the next 5 years? You've been here 5 years. What's the next 5 hold?
You know, we have to keep looking at how we can be nimble and meet need. And I think if we are serving our community, then we are in the right space. And so as we continue to look at what the changing needs are for the Upstate, as we look at this exciting period of growth, it's really how we can contribute to that. The great thing about being a small private institution is we can be very nimble and we can make decisions and really apply our education to the needs of the community. And right now we're looking at some additional programming that we may be considering in the near future, and really just talking with local businesses on how we can keep expanding to meet that need, and hearing what students are interested in the future as we continue to grow and add male athletics and a whole new cadre of students to Converse.
Adding athletics, did I hear you say?
Yes.
Tell me what
Yes.
that's going to be, or do you know yet?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
yes.
let's
So
hear
we've
it.
hired our coaches,
Yeah.
and they are busy recruiting, and we have some really great recruits. So we have added men's basketball, track, cross country, soccer, and they are added to our equestrian program and tennis, and then soon to be a volleyball team, men's volleyball.
Wow. All
Yeah.
of those things you just said are on the men's side.
That's right.
Well, you're going to have to grow pretty quick in the men, right? Because you've got 8 students now.
right.
That's a way to bump that up pretty quick, right? You get sports
Yes,
going.
our athletics team has been busy recruiting, and
bet
we're
they
excited
have.
about the recruits that they've been able to bring in.
Wow.
So, yeah, we've got a great program growing. And, you know, we've had 13 women's sports all of these years. Converse was the only women's college to compete at the NCAA Division II level. So this is really just building that out and creating that sense of excitement and teamwork and leadership that athletics builds so well.
That is exciting.
And then
Moving 100 miles a minute, yes.
One more thing,
Yes.
esports. So we are adding an esports team as well.
Explain that one.
Video gaming as a sport.
No way.
Yeah.
Is that a thing now?
You will not believe this, but last year, 97 million people watched the Super Bowl. 100 million people watched the esports finales.
And where did they watch that? Wherever.
Wherever, yeah.
Yeah, on their computers.
But it's international, and it draws people from all over the world. Yeah.
I tell you what, I'm getting old, Krista.
If you have teenagers like me, you will be surprised at the amount of time they spend watching other people play video games.
How about that?
Yeah.
And they probably all want jobs in that sector, too. They all want to be able to design video games, probably.
You know, not necessarily.
Yeah.
They look at all different kinds of fields of study, and some really approach it as a hobby, and some think of it, perhaps in career lines, but it's sort of like at the Division II level athletics. Not a lot of people think they're going to go on to play basketball for a living, but they really enjoy this,
Right.
and they want a chance to connect with other people while they do it. And one of our biggest changes coming up is our name change. So Converse College is becoming
right.
Converse University starting on July 1 in recognition of those 55 plus years of graduate programs and now its status as a doctoral granting institution.
I like the sound of Converse University a
Me
lot.
too. Yep.
Wow, that's great info. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for sharing that. I learned so much that I did not know about Converse College. I do want to share one more thing, and we reported on this just a couple days ago. Converse, I want to make sure that I get this right, so I'm going to read my notes. Converse will co-host the 36th Annual International Model NATO. Tell me what that means, because it sounds pretty cool.
All right, so Converse has been a leader in the Model League program for 30 years now. We regularly beat Ivy League institutions, Georgetown, Harvard, military academies. And what it is it's students serving as countries. They are presented with different problem scenarios, and then they have to work together, serving as those countries, to come up with resolutions. And so they negotiate it. There's a lot of procedure to it, but it's very fast-paced and interesting. And
what
we've
is-
had students travel to all over for this program. So they've gone to Qatar, Oman, Saudi Arabia. It's a fabulous program.
It sounds fabulous. Tell me, and you made me think, how many states do y'all have students from?
So right now we have students from about 28 different states.
Yeah, and countries?
And countries is harder in a pandemic. So normally we have students from
Right.
18 different countries. We just had 2 arrive recently from South Africa
Okay.
who made it through. But we have a number of students learning online internationally now, waiting for when they can come to Converse.
Right.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Krista, thank you so much for being
Oh,
here.
my pleasure. Thank you.
This was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Folks, that is Krista Newkirk. She is the president at Converse College, and that concludes another episode of Coffee With. Hang out on SC Biz TV, browse around, and see if there's anything else you'd like to watch, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.